Welcome to Health News and Views, a podcast dedicated to bringing some clarity to the health disparities in the Black and Brown communities. If you believe there's a connection between food, sickness, and health, then you're in the right place. Let's begin the process of unraveling the truth. And now your host, Lynn Pete.
Greetings and welcome back to another episode of Health News and Views, Food, the Final Frontier. This is part 2 of Toxic Chemicals and Weapons of Mass Destruction. You know, in the previous episode, the dangers of household cleaners was the topic of concern. Your awareness and my awareness of dangerous and potentially deadly cleaning products may save your life and, better yet, the life of someone, a beloved child or pet. You know, accidental contact with inhalation, absorption, or ingestion of chemicals, cleaning chemicals, as was explained in the previous episode, can go from mild to catastrophic. Spray cleaners in the hands of little ones can be the most dangerous. But before we go on, the subject matter provided in this podcast or any other published documents is for informational purposes only. Food, the Final Frontier, and our partner, Health News and Views. We do not attempt to treat, diagnose, or cure any disease or condition. Always check with your healthcare provider before making any lifestyle, dietary, or prescription drug changes. And the topic of discussion for this episode is about chlorine bleach. It's probably the most popular of all cleaning products, but the question is, why do we still use this stuff? We've seen the labels, corrosive, keep away from children, danger, caution. Why are we still using this? I'm sorry. And by the way, if you're one of those people who are still using it, could you please explain what bacteria or bug or germ are you really trying to kill? What dastardly demon are we really trying to keep at bay? Chlorine bleach is often used as a sanitizer or disinfectant. However, it remains at the top of the list of the most concerning cleaners. There are 109 calls per day to ERs across the country, according to Poison Control Hotline, and it's because of chlorine bleach exposure. They're saying that the potential, and this is NewJerseyHealth.gov, potential long-term effects to prolonged exposure to bleach fumes has been associated with the increased risk of cancer. And additionally, bleach can cause the buildup of chloroform in the air, which is a probable human carcinogen. Can chlorine bleach kill mold? Maybe that's why you're using it. Well, according to one source, they said it can, but it's not recommended. It can only kill mold that's on non-porous surfaces like tile and glass and metal. But if you have mold in the bathroom from moisture, there's little black spots, you think that something definitely is growing, and those mold spores can enter into your lungs. It is recommended that you get a mold remediation company, and this mold, EcoFlood and Mold Remediation Company, said it is not recommended for porous surfaces like drywall or carpet. It says bleach cannot penetrate deep enough to reach the mold. Potentially leaves the mold to continue growing underneath the surface. To stress the potential harm of using bleach to kill mold, the CDC advises against using it. And with that, and especially if you're not wearing gloves or personal protective gear, and that includes an N95 respirator to provide you from inhaling harmful gas, goggles, and protective gloves. By the way, if you remember your scientific periodic table of elements, chlorine is number 17 element. And that table, by the way, will celebrate 155 years. It's 155 years old this year. I just thought you needed to know that. So you may have seen chlorine in your science lab, or you remember seeing it on that scientific periodic table. Well, where did chlorine bleach come from, and why do we still use it? The most historic use of chlorine was chlorine gas, used by Germany in a chemical warfare attack in France, April 22nd, 1915, and on an unsuspecting company of soldiers. United Nations reports that the disarmament affair stated the modern use of chemical weapons began in World War I, when both sides of the conflict used poisonous gas to inflict agonizing suffering and to cause significant battlefield casualties. And such weapons basically consisted of well-known commercial chemicals put into standard munitions, such as grenades and artillery shells. Chlorine and phosgene, that's a choking agent, and mustard gas, which inflicts painful burns on the skin, were among the chemicals used. And the results were indiscriminate and often devastating. Nearly 100,000 deaths resulted since World War I. Chemical weapons have caused more than 1 million casualties globally, and it's been reported that the green mist could be seen coming over the landscape, and within minutes the screams of soldiers began. The chlorine was burning their eyes, their mucous membranes, in their nasal and breathing passages. One report stated that the coughing of the lung tissue and vomiting was heard for miles. The blisters on the body and inside the body were the worst ever seen. This egregious chemical, chlorine gas, was banned as a chemical weapon of war and prohibited in 1925, according to History.com. Well, I mentioned in the previous episode that I would provide you a list of substances that should never be mixed with chlorine, and here we go. Never mix chlorine with ammonia. You will create a new chemical called chloramine. Never mix vinegar with chlorine. If you add water to that, you've made your own hydrochloric acid. Inhaling this concoction is harmful to your respiratory system. And chlorine and isopropyl rubbing alcohol creates chloroform. It can harm your eyes, your skin, your liver, your kidneys, and your nervous system. Chloroform can be toxic if it's inhaled or swallowed. Well, the National Resource Center for Health and Safety for Children in Early Education stated that the concentration of bleach solutions sold in stores since March 2013 have increased the amounts of sodium chloride to 8.25%, higher than the formerly available bleach, which was 5.25%. But why? Well, did you know that some states mandate the use of chlorine bleach in child care and nursing homes and food service facilities? Usually that dose is one tablespoon to 1/3 of a cup per gallon of water. Check your state for daycare and food service requirements. And also, are we disinfecting or sanitizing? Different amounts of cleaners for different tests. Cautionary data states that following. Bleach does not clean, it destroys. Bleach does not clean, it destroys. Proof of that is just a few drops on your favorite jeans or your red sweater. It didn't clean it, but it certainly did destroy it and bleached it. It does not kill mold. It bleaches it so you can't see it. And as a reminder, the label indicates that it's harmful if swallowed. Do not try to induce vomiting if that happens. There's skin, eye irritation, and possible fatal outcomes. And here are some of the other hazards: skin burns, respiratory issues, damage to the nervous system. It exacerbates asthma, headaches, and vomiting. And accidents that cause the skin to come in direct contact with this bleach or people ingesting it. Believe me, they report that about 700 adults per year have ingested or do ingest bleach. We don't know why. Just a cautionary note. As a new trainee healthcare worker, it was my first day on the floor, and I was handed a chart to get vital signs from one of my patients. Well, she was tall, slender, very personable, charming, and easily could have been a cruise director and not a patient on the med-surg floor. However, she was walking with her IV pole. I was briefed on her condition. It seems that she drank a cup of bleach in a botched suicide attempt. She's only 21 years old. She was angry with her boyfriend. Well, she lived to tell it. Unfortunately, the bleach damaged her esophagus so badly that she'll never have food or drink by mouth again. And by the way, if cleaners are harmful to you, chances are they are harmful to your domesticated pets too. Dogs have a keen sense of smell, and that is irritated by household cleaners and perfume. Cats are notorious for constantly cleaning, and chemicals can get absorbed in their paws and create potential problems. Kidney cancer, kidney and cancer disease is unfortunately common. Our domesticated four-legged friends develop ailments and diseases just like we do. And our furry pets and furry friends are affected by your selection of cleaning products as well. They just can't tell you. Cleaning chemicals affect pets the same way, sometimes more severely than humans, because of their smaller size and faster metabolism and the closer contact with the surfaces. And here's how cleaning agents can impact pets, and sometimes more severely due to their smaller size and faster metabolism. Cleaning chemicals can affect pets sometimes more severely than humans due to their smaller size and faster metabolism. Well, second to bleach is sulfonic acid, and these are other cleaning products, usually with a bleach component to kill mold and mildew. Protective clothing is also recommended. Cover your eyes, your nose, your skin, and wear goggles in a well-ventilated room. In other words, open the doggone windows. A special note to parents and guardians. Those dollar store cleaners are equally as dangerous to children and mentally challenged persons as well, and some seniors who may suffer from dementia. Fruit, fragrance cleaners in attractive packaging can be the lure of the unsuspecting explorer. I read a story of an understaffed nursing home where a male resident, thirsty for something to drink in the evening after dinner was over and the kitchen was closed, found himself in a storage closet rummaging around for juice. Well, it didn't take long before he found a cleaning product and drank just enough to cause irreparable harm. Are there alternatives to caustic, corrosive cleaning products? Yes, there are. Glad you asked. There are some plant-based and non-toxic cleaners. There's one called Seventh Generation. The EPA has approved disinfectants using thymol and biodegradable formulas. Melaleuca, been around for a long time. EcoSense line, you need a membership for that one, but it uses ingredients like tea tree oil, based products, thyme and lemon ingredients that clean just as effectively, but no harsh chemicals. Method, Mrs. Meyer's Clean Day and Better Life. Also, if you want to buy a cleaner, you want to make your own, you can always use hydrogen peroxide. It's also a wonderful cleaner. Enzyme-based pet-safe cleaners. There's always vinegar. There's white vinegar and water. You can mix that. Baking soda and lemon juice for scrubbing, for stains and deodorizing. And Castile soap, Dr. Bronner's, or any other names that you know of that sell the Castile soap. The Environmental Workers Group can be watchdogs for everything that's harmful to the public, including some cleaning products. They have a list too. You can check them out on the internet. Here's some tips for cleaning around your pets. Always rinse the floors and the surfaces after using cleaners. Avoid aerosol sprays and strong fumes. Did you know birds especially are sensitive to those strong fumes? And scented candles too, by the way. That's the latest one I heard. So keep pets away until surfaces are dry. Thanks for stopping by to Health News and Views, Food, the Final Frontier. It's always a pleasure to have you. Please like, share, and pass on the information, and we will be reaching out to our subscribers to offer some special swag, gifts, and merch for hanging in there with us as we embark on new horizons and new directions. So thank you for your continued support. Be blessed. Make it a powerful day. Peace.